Well, hello there folks, thanks for clicking on the video, as always, very much appreciated. So I'm out at the big shelter today and I'm going to be in for an absolute belter of a day, really excited about it. So my work restriction thing that's sort of been meaning I haven't been able to do any overnighters for really 2 months now is basically coming to an end, so it means I'm going to be able to get back out into the woods, back out into the shelters and have some fun. But this particular shelter, the big shelter, has got a lot of leaks in it, so I'm back out today just to actually remoss everything, try and make it as waterproof as possible. So I'm going to give you a little bit of a guided tour in here just in a little bit, just so you can actually see exactly where the actual the holes are, and also how I sort of identify it for remossing. And then we'll go up into the actual woodlands, we'll get some moss back, and we'll get the place actually looking a little bit better. I'm also going to be doing a little bit of work on the garden today, so it's going to be a case of just getting things prepared for planting in March, which we're not far away as well, so really exciting times ahead. But I'll just give you a quick wee guided tour of the shelter itself, not just the holes but also the whole shelter, and then we'll show you what we're going to do. So we'll start off just going around the outside of the shelter just now. So basically I built this shelter back in 2019. And I certainly wasn't expecting it to actually last as long, if I'm perfectly honest. And I have been contemplating over the last wee while about maybe taking it down and building a slightly better structure. But I have sort of decided I think I'm just going to leave it the way it is just now until it naturally comes down, and then just sort of rebuild it. And again, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put up some images just now, just of the actual build itself, so you can sort of see how I did it frame-wise, etc. And then just over the last wee while I've been putting moss on as often as I possibly can to try and make it waterproof. But what I'll do is I'll take you inside the shelter in a wee bit and I'll show you it and just sort of show you all the holes that are there and why I need to sort of fill that in. So the other thing I did as well was I actually built a hazel hurdle wall, which is really nice because it actually does give me extra light into the shelter itself, and on sort of sunrises you can see the sun coming right through the back. What I've had to do is put a supporting beam there, because as I said, the shelter itself was actually starting to lean back quite dramatically. So it was a case of just getting something to try and sort of stop the rot. And again, there's sort of a wall just down the actual bottom there that I've actually put up. But I've got some really good ideas for some new shelters. So if there is a situation where this comes down, it will be a case of some really good fun stuff to actually build over the next wee while. So from the point of view of the inside of the shelter itself, so I've got a bed there, and what I've actually done is just on that bit there's a little bit of a dip, using slightly thinner sort of sticks, just making it a little bit more comfortable for me when I'm sleeping. And then it's just been a case of a couple of wee bushcraft tables, just using sort of natural materials that are lying around the woodland. So I'll take you in. And then from the point of view of, I've got my chair there, which I actually built, which again I'll put a link to the video of the making of that. And then it's basically a table at the back and then a little shelf slightly further up. And again, from the point of view of even sort of being able to sit at night on the chair and actually have a meal. And again, just having that light come through the back of the shelter. And then as I said, it's got the wee shelf up there as well. And all I've really done is actually that sort of sticks have gone across from one side to the other, onto the main frame of the shelter itself. But as I said, one of the main sort of issues have been, I'll show you just now, if you look at all the holes in the roof. So there's been quite a lot of sort of water getting in, and again even you can see a few wee bits in there. Now for the side, all I've really done is sticks weaved through the frame of the shelter and then moss integrated into the actual the branches itself, and just sort of used the actual branches to sort of hold everything in place. And then on this side is basically just a tarp frame, tarp setup, just to sort of keep this side of the shelter itself dry. But look at that for a view. And again at night, get a beautiful view of the sky, and again hopefully sort of lots of starry nights in the future. But I've had some amazing star shows here, and that's just the rest of the shelter and the camp itself. So you could also see, just even from the outside, sort of holes, and again even just down the back there, across the top and down the side. So it's going to be quite a lot of work, but as I said, it really needs done, just so I can actually have some comfortable nights in there. And again, it sort of keeps it warm, etc. So I'm really looking forward to sort of getting back out in the woods and getting an overnighter done, get the campfire on and just sort of sitting there enjoying it. One wee thing that I'm looking for a wee bit of advice on though, if anyone can help. So with reference to the bird table, I came out a few days ago and put mealworm as well as sort of fat balls on the table itself, and I put them on the top of the bird table as well as the main part. But as I said, I haven't had any takers as yet, so if anyone can give me any advice, is there something I should be doing just to sort of encourage the birds, because they just don't seem to be coming down to it at all. Again, it's maybe a case of just getting used to the fact that it's actually there. You can hear plenty of birds. Okay, so there's lots of birds. I quite often see lots of birds sort of flying around, but just no takers as yet. So anyone who's got any advice on it at all, please just actually pop a wee comment below for me, it'd be much appreciated. Right, so there's quite a lot of moss around here, as well as there's actually a down tree there with moss on the base of it. So I'm going to try and take as much of that as I possibly can. And you've probably seen me do it before, but it's basically a case of I'll lay as much on here as I can physically do, but it's more about how much I can, weight wise, I can actually carry back. But I need some bigger pieces for the roof. And again, what I try and do is really just be in a position where I'm not completely devastating one particular area. So I'll use a little bit from here, a little bit from further up on the actual hill, and then go off into the woodland and get some more. Okay, so now it's just going to be a case of trying to fill up all the holes that are there, and what I generally do is I'll put a stick through the other side so I can see exactly where the hole was, but the first few holes and everything as well, they're just so blatant, I'm not needing to bother with that. And then I'll just use a stick to sort of force it all in. So I'll just do this all the way along, just on the actual gaps, quite a few gaps around this sort of area around here. So again, I'll be doing that. So I'm probably going to do sort of 2 or 3 runs just to get enough material to actually do it, just before I get some lunch on. So that's it, I'm just going to carry on with this just now. So I'm just going to look at the same view as I was earlier on. And as you can see, no holes in the roof at all. And basically even just down the side, so basically it should be waterproof and ready for some overnighters. Okay, so it's time for a spot of lunch, but I do apologise, there's jets going all over the place. We had the red arrows that passed flying over Inverness yesterday, so I don't think it's the red arrows, but they're certainly out practising just now. So if you are hearing it, it's not thunder, it's just literally the jets practising. Quite amazing to watch, but not so convenient when I'm trying to shoot a video, so I do apologise. But basically what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be having kebabs, and all I'm really doing at the moment is actually just taking the bark off an actual stick just so I can skewer the meat and the vegetables that I'm going to be using. Because just the bacteria that you tend to find in bark itself, so that's why I'm sort of taking that off. Okay, and that, as I said, it's just really a case of just trying to protect myself just from bacteria. I'm also going to try and split the end of it just now, and I'll show you exactly why. And that just gives me the opportunity to twist it round. Okay, so the fire itself is not actually that wide, so that's going to do for the first lot, and then I'll probably have a second lot as well. So I'll just take that over to the fire. As I said, the idea is I can actually just turn that round as I'm going. It has to be said, that looks amazing, but I will be checking it just to make sure that everything is cooked. Couple of bits there that I'm just going to give a wee bit longer over the fire. Okay, so let's put these back on. And again, apologies for the planes, it just seems to be constant all day today. I was sort of contemplating trying to sort of give a wee break, but they just seem to be absolutely constant, so I do apologise. Let's see what this is like. Wow. That's really well cooked all the way through. Okay, so I'm just going to finish this and then it'll be a case of moving on to the garden. And as I said, what I'm going to be doing is turning the soil today. Because I said it's probably about 2 weeks before I start planting, so we'll get that done next, but I'll just finish this, catch up with you in a wee bit. So what I'm going to do just now, I'm just going to turn over the soil and both the raised beds. The soil in here I've only put in a few days ago, but I've left myself plenty of space for putting some compost in, etc. And as I said, it won't be long before I'm going to start planting the potatoes and the carrots and things like that as well. But I am going to be quite careful, because what I don't want to do is I've retwined some of the actual pieces there. And I said I got a really good crop last year from them. In fact, there's actually still little potatoes in there just now. Wow. So I'm still even getting potatoes just now. Now what I am not is a gardener. So if anyone's willing to continue with their advice, I've got a friend that's going to help me with it. That's really cool. I can't believe I didn't dig down far enough to actually have got these out last time. I think it was all the excitement. So that's it. I'll put a link to the video just now, just from when I did the harvest last time. And then I said I've got compost there. Here's another one. So that's actually 4 big potatoes and some wee ones as well. So let's pop them in there. So that's the 2 raised beds done. And already the strawberry plants are growing. And I said there is a spinach plant in there as well that's not looking incredibly healthy. And I said a reasonable wee stock of potatoes there. But that's been a thoroughly enjoyable day. Just so enjoyable, so relaxing. Again, I keep sort of saying, I was saying to somebody just a few days ago, that a day in the woods certainly turns a frown upside down. What this place does for my mental health is just exceptional. It really is. That's the weather coming in just now, unfortunately. So it's forecast for the next sort of couple of hours of being quite sort of torrential rain. So I'm going to try and get out the woodland before that sort of kicks in. But the one last little thing, I was just sort of having another little look at the bird table, and I'll show you just now. So the bird table is there, and what I'm maybe thinking about doing, picnic tables over there and the edge of the woodlands just there. So don't know if anyone puts any comments below. Is that maybe what I need to do? Is it a case of popping it down there, just so it's a little bit closer to where possibly the birds are? I have seen birds at the shelter, more sort of robins and things like that as well, but certainly nothing's taken anything that is actually I put out last week. So all the mealworms are still there. The fat balls have not been touched whatsoever. So that's something I'd like to see a little bit of progression and development in. So as I said, any comments you possibly got at all that might help, please pop them below and it'd be much appreciated. But talking about appreciated, just want to say another massive thank you for all the views, all the positive comments. It's been absolutely fantastic again, and just keeps me inspiring me to get out and do more content. And as I was saying earlier on, should hopefully be back to overnighters and being able to head into the mountains and doing camps as well as doing camps here. So lots of new content to look forward to. But as I said, I'm just going to pack up before this rain kicks in. So thank you so much for watching. Take care, and we'll see you on the next adventure. Bye bye.